Hello and welcome to the Nature Steve channel. I am your host, Nature Steve, and thank you for viewing. As stated in my trailer earlier, I will be going over to kick off everything for our series for this channel, dogs. Mainly all canine are going to be discussed. That's ranging from the household dogs that we have now, going to wolves, coyotes, foxes, bush dogs, wild dogs, jackals. Really, you name it, I'm going to cover it. That has to do with the canine. Um, with this, I'm really going to be focusing first at how they perceive the world, their biology, how they communicate amongst each other in their natural environments, and then moving into how we affect them and how we interact with them, and then how to suitably interact with them so we can all live harmoniously. With that said, kicking it all off, going straight into dogs. How long have we known dogs? Pretty gosh darn long time. We've been working with dogs roughly 15,000 years. Archaeological evidence does support up to 30, 35 to 40,000 years. To give you a rough perspective, we've been around as a species arguably around 200,000 years, possibly a little farther, possibly a little south, which means we've been working with dogs a little bit under a quarter of the existence of us as a species, which is just incredible. Our domestication skills of them have really been mastered into the evolution of them. They started off as wolves that you know out there, the timber wolf, gray wolf, all the Arctic wolf, going down to chihuahuas and pointing dogs and all sorts of variety dogs, mainly for specific purposes through the domestication. Since dogs have incredibly different ways and incredibly powerful ways to perceive their world, we have been able to utilize them for different services. Straight up from a service dog for the handicap to an emotional support dog because they're able to comfort and commune with us. And they have great hunting and tracking skills being a carnivore. So we've used them for hunting, trapping, tracking. Some are really good at retrieving, some are not so much. You name it, we've really found a purpose on this planet and all continents to use a dog. Even Antarctica, sled dogs, some parts of them. Moving on. The base five senses I'm going to be covering in this video primarily, and those are going to be ranked on what's really strongest with them. With their first, right off the bat, their king sense is their sense of smell. Now, their sense of smell is primarily dominated by the olfactory senses in their nose. We have 6 million. They have 300 million. Some species, some breeds of dogs, canines, have upwards of 600 million, which is just incredible to think about. To give you a visual representation, which is what we're based on with all visuals, if we were able to see, just in this example, see up to about a third of a mile, a dog could see 3,000 miles. That is just how strong their nose is compared to our nose. With that said, not only they have more sensory parts to their nose, they also utilize their nose in a completely different way than us. It's built and structured for just an incredible way. And what I mean by that is when we inhale and exhale, it goes straight in one way. We're not going to smell really through our mouth, so just focusing on our nose here, in and out one way. And when we breathe in, we immediately sense what is there by our olfactories, and then we respirate. Boom. 1, then 2. That's it. And then when it comes back out, we're really going to be smelling what we're exhaling, which may or may not be all that strong. And we're not going to be taking in any further sense of smell from that outside. Dogs don't work that way. When they breathe in, they have a tissue, a membrane, that actually separates the incoming air. Now, this goes into two spots. Obviously, one for respiration, so they can breathe. And then the second one is going to be for their olfactories so that they can get a clean sense of exactly what's going on. It's not going to be rushed around. It's not going to be pushed straight into their lungs. They have the moment that they live in to gain a better understanding of their environment. Now, with exhaling is also unique. When they exhale, the air is going to be pushed around in a very particular manner so that it is on the outside of their nose, to the outside of it here, and it forces air already there to come back into their nose so they can continuously sense what is going on around them. That is incredible. Really, obviously, always being stimulated by their nose. They also have another part of their nose, a very specific organ that actually most animals do have, and this is going to be the vomeronasal organ, also known as the Jacobson organ. This is going to be located right near the base in the back of their nasal passage, right above the roof of their mouth in their skull. And this organ is really specifically meant for sensing pheromones, primarily with reproductive purposes to sense when a female dog is in heat. However, this also has been known to sense other pheromones that are given off by us, other animals, sense fear in us, joy, whatever is being given off, perspirated from other animals around them. Moving on to the dog's next, possibly greatest senses from here, is going to be the sense of hearing. Their frequency range is going to be going from as low as 40 as upwards of 60,000, while ours, in comparison, give you a number, is going to be as low as 20 as up to 20,000 hertz. For those reasons, dogs can just hear an incredible range that we have no way of understanding, perceiving really, truly. That is why hard, louder sounds, when you get your roof replaced or you're jamming out to the new Falls of Roros album or whatever, you can really see the dog's fear. It hurts them. That those sounds are intense, they're brutal, and they're possibly damaging to them. They're not going to take as kindly to it as we are, since it is that much more sensitive. They also have a weird, completely different structured ear, so that things don't get in there and they can keep that hearing range in peak condition. With that said, there's one unique thing to their ears that is, again, different from us, is that they are born deaf through the way the ears are structured, and that the membrane just resolves and clears out after about 10 to 14 days. Just saying, if you do have a puppy or you breed, do make sure you check your dog's ears, take them to the vet if after about 3 weeks you're noticing they're not responsive to your voice or anything else. That's a really, really big deal. Moving on to their next incredible sense is going to be their sense of taste. This one may be weaker than ours, however, it is very, very unique. They have 1,700 taste buds, where ours is 9,000. Now you're going to be, why are we bringing this up? How is it stronger? How is it greater? Well, the purpose of their tongue is very, 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 very important to what they eat, what they ingest. Because since they are carnivores, they're going to be taking in an incredible amount of salt. Muscle tissue does have all that in there for nervous system purposes that I'll be going on to at a later date. However, for this purpose, they get enough salt from their food. So really running into salt water is incredibly dangerous for them. If your dog is left out at the beach, they will completely avoid the salt water and they'll just move on from that. They will completely avoid it at all costs. With that said, having that weaker sense of taste, they're just not going to mind anything else. They're really just looking to pick out, will it kill them or will it not kill them? Like with most animals and their senses and the way they're built, That is their primary purpose, just to really survive as best as possible and be efficient as possible. That's why your dog can lick its butt and not give a crap later, because it's all doesn't matter to them. They're barely tasting anything. On top of that, to help with this evolutionary point of just wanting to survive, their taste buds are mainly put to the tip of their tongue versus us, where we have taste buds everywhere. Let's just give them a quick. Is this going to be safe to drink, or is it not going to be safe to drink? I can immediately just get an immediate tiny dose of it, and then move on or stay there and drink what I need. Kind of the sense of us and our sense of touch. Whereas we touch, example, the desk that camera is sitting on, I can tell that it's hard. It's made of wood. It's got some grain to it. That sort of thing. That's what they're really picking out. Now to move on to the dog's sight. Sight is very, very particular, and it has very incredibly survival-oriented purpose for them. First off, say dogs do not have black and white vision. They just simply do not. They do see hues, they do see green, they do see color, blue, yellow primarily, just some base colors. Nothing's going to be really popping out. Why is this? Well, we have to actually backtrack from dogs going up their evolutionary tree or down, however you want to view it, to wolves and what they hunt. What do wolves primarily hunt? Deer, rabbits, squirrels, bison, elk, antelope. What's the one thing all those animals have in common out in the wild? They're all brown. They're all going to blend in with their surrounding. They're all going to be in the hills. They're all going to be in the trees. They're going to be something around them is going to blend in with them so they can vanish and disappear. So really a color-based vision is going to be completely useless out there if you can't actually see your prey that well. You're going to go hungry pretty quick. It's the same reason that lions are more or less the same color as the savanna grasses. They blend in so they can stalk their prey a lot easier. Same reason cheetahs. Anyway, with that said, dogs have more of a movement-based vision. So things that whiz by and move around really attract their attention immediately. It's the first thing they focus in on. That's why if you see a dog, he's able to really follow and zip around, pay attention to where that fly is moving in the house, and can snap at it and get it with incredible pinpoint accuracy. With that said, with it being more of a movement-based vision, they'd also have what I like to say is they can see in a higher frame of rate, so everything kind of actually seems a little bit slower to them, since everything it's motion-based. To give you kind of an example of what I mean by that is when we go to look at a computer screen, we go to look at a TV screen, it's one continuous image. That image is uninterrupted. You know, what I'm looking at right now, what you're looking at right now is just that frame. There, continuous. Nothing else to it, right? For a dog, if you were to look at any of these frames, since these frames, these screens are set for our vision, a dog is actually going to be seeing it in a picture. It's going to be the picture, then blackness, then picture, then blackness, then picture, and blackness. And that's just the way everything works for them because they are predators. Moving on to that, with the reason that, another reason, really, that their eyes are set up this way is because they also hunt from dusk till dawn primarily. They do hunt sometimes during the day if they have to, but their prey does usually eat about then. Deer and most other herbivores are chilling out during the day. If anything, they're kind of feeding, but they're usually not going to be doing much during the middle of the day, mostly relaxing. They're going to be doing most of their moving around at dusk and dawn, sometimes at night, to really maximize their camouflage, maximize hiding from prey, and really that's the main purpose, just not to get killed. With that said, it is easier, dog's eye is built strictly for that, is to bring in as much light as possible. They see many times greater than us in low light vision and in no light, just because the way they're structured, the way their cones are. That's what's most important to them for their prey. Uh, the moon's out, it's reflecting upon everything around them. They just need that little bit of light to see the movement. Once they see the movement, what are they going to stick to? Their nose. They're going to go straight over to that area where they saw it, smell it, pick up the trail from there. So that's how all these things lead to. Moving on to their fifth sense, we're going to be talking about touch. Touch is an incredibly important piece for dogs. As you can imagine, they got whiskers, and they really love being touched. Why is that? Really, possibly they're focused in on the nerve endings that are in their face and their muzzle, going from the back of their neck and then all the way down their back to their tail, and through their spine. That's where they have the most touch sense. It is incredibly pleasurable to a dog to be rubbed in those spaces, especially near the butt, right above the tail, and then on the neck and the back of the head. And that's where they have the greatest amount of nerve bundles there. And it feels immensely pleasurable, as I just stated. That's for many purposes of just running through the brush, kind of getting an extra perception of how everything feels for them in their environment around them as they're crashing through and hunting prey. Whether they're digging, dogs do, like wolves, since they're descendant of wolves, wolves did, live in caves, dig holes, burrows, so they really needed to get it's pitch black. Maybe they can't see at that exact moment. Just give them an extra advantage of what the environment is around them. With that, they're also able to have some sort of extra sensory perception of the wind around them, where it's coming from, how it's cold, what it's hot, the precipitation that's going to be coming in, those sorts of things. And that about covers everything of the five senses for dogs. In my next few videos, I'll be covering the extrasensory perceptions that dogs do have that we simply do not have, just because of the way they're built and they utilize their five senses to complete the picture, the reality around them. Then I'll be going on to their base biology and physiology of the dogs and their diet, and specifically how they digest it and what they should be digesting. And then again, as I stated, with the purpose of all my videos, how we can live more cohesively with these majestic creatures, and how we interact with them on a daily basis. So that's going to be mainly focusing on what we feed them, what we should be feeding them, what food I personally would recommend for them, and what and why they can eat it in any particular manner. I'm also going to be focusing greatly on the communication skills, so you'll be able to interact with these creatures better, instead of doing certain things that you've been doing your whole entire life or believe are the basics of dogs. Well, a lot of those have been debunked over the years, and I would really like to bring those out to people so that they can understand what they need to do to better communicate with their loved ones. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Please share, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.